All right, guys, remember last time we started Lily to the Rescue by Bruce Cameron. And Lily loves to go to the dog park. Remember, she lives at the rescue where Maggie Rose's mom works. And she loves to go to the dog park, and she met a new friend. Chapter 2. There's some important rules in the dog park. First, one dog should never take a toy away from another dog. Dogs don't like that. People can take away toys if they want because they're people. The rule doesn't apply to people. Next, a dog should always politely sniff another dog in the butt. If you don't sniff a dog, it's considered to be very rude. This rule does not apply to people either. When Maggie Rose first lets me into the dog park, I love to run and run and run. I will wag and bow and sniff all my friends, and I will chase any dog who looks like he or she needs a good chasing. Most of the other dogs in the park run after the squirrels, but I don't because we have had many different kinds of squirrels at work, and I've learned that they don't like to be chased. That makes no sense, but squirrels are squirrels and not dogs. Cats don't like to be chased either, so they may be a type of squirrel. I'm not sure about that though. Being chased or chasing is one of the most fun times to be had, and it's not my fault if squirrels and cats don't understand this. After chasing, I usually go over to the water bowl to get a drink. There's an enormous water bowl at the dog park for all of us to share. One time, a dog named Boggs sat in the water dish. He's a big dog with a black face. I do not know why he thought he would be comfortable sitting in the water bowl, but once he did, the water smelled like Boggs, and no one wanted to take a drink of it. Fortunately, Maggie Rose came over and put in fresh water, so we didn't have to drink Boggs' water. We were all grateful for this, but we were nervous that Boggs might sit in the nice new water. We tried to distract him by going over to the trees on the other side of the park where the male dogs lift their legs and the females squat. At least that's why I went and squatted there, so the Boggs would be lured to come over to examine the fresh scent. The other dogs may just have marked the area because I was doing it. Anyway, it succeeded because Boggs naturally needed to spend a lot of time sniffing all the trees and lifting his own leg. And then he had to leave with his person so he didn't have a chance to put his butt in the water bowl again. I suppose people can sit in water bowls if they want, but I've never seen anyone do it. I've never seen any dog but Boggs do it either. And he's an odd animal anyway, because he never runs after a ball. Not when it's thrown by a person, not when another dog has it in his mouth. He may not understand what a ball even is. On the day that I made a new friend, I was in the far end of the dog park by myself. I like to go there sometimes and think about what a wonderful life I have. I get to go to work. I get to play with all sorts of animals. There's the dog park and Maggie Rose. No one has a better life than I do. Running along the back of the dog park, there's a fence that I can see through. Overhead, there are many trees that drop nuts on the ground. At the base of one of the trees, I saw a little squirrel. I knew that Maggie Rose called that kind of squirrel a chipmunk, but it sure looked like a squirrel to me. It hopped like a squirrel, ate nuts like a squirrel, and it certainly smelled like a squirrel. People make all the rules and can name things whatever they want, but to me a squirrel is a squirrel is a squirrel. The chipmunk was busy finding nuts and stuffing them into his mouth. There were so many nuts in there that its cheeks were puffed out in a very silly fashion. No dog would do something so silly, but squirrels have different rules. For one thing, they're allowed to climb trees. I don't really like nuts. Some dogs do, but to me, it's squirrel food. I would much rather have a meat treat. This chipmunk was so busy making silly cheeks with his nuts that he did not notice that there was a large hawk circling overhead. At once I became very concerned. I knew from doing work high up in the mountains with Dad that a hawk hunts little animals. I had not seen hawks fly down and grab small creatures the size of a chipmunk. Was this hawk flying around and around the little chipmunk because it was planning to hunt it? I could not let that happen because the chipmunk was in the dog park. It was one of my friends. Maybe not a friend who would chase a ball or wrestle with a stick, but a friend just the same. I could not let the hawk hunt a friend. But how could I stop it from doing that? Dogs cannot fly any more than we can climb trees. I wondered if I should bark, but my experience with squirrels of all kinds is that they don't care what dogs do unless we chase them. But if I chased the chipmunk, That would not help because a hawk can catch a running creature. I stood frozen, afraid for my new little friend. Why was Lily afraid for the chipmunk? And what do you think she's going to do to help him? I'll be back with chapter 3 next time.